Coord is building a system to coordinate activity on busy city curbsides. You could say it's a bit like air traffic control for the curb.
So fleets are a very important part of our approach. And so we see essentially a sort of a two-sided market where you have the cities offering space and you have increasingly businesses and fleets using the space, right? So as more and more trips, whether it's the trip to move a person or a trip to move a good, are being performed by fleets, right? And so we envisage a system and are building a system, and indeed that's why it's called Coord, because we're literally trying to help coordinate the activities along the curb. A lot of folks liken it to sort of air traffic control, right, around an airport. As a fleet is planning its trip, a vehicle, commercial driver, they're planning to go across town to make a delivery. They have the long range trip plan, like the route, but then, which is sort of like the pilot flying over the Atlantic. But then as they get close to where they're trying to land, they go to control tower to figure out where they should land at that airport. And so we kind of view the commercial loading zone kind of like the runway. And as a fleet is trying to reduce the amount of time that it takes to perform its to do that trip, and also to minimize risk in terms of safety and such. We believe that it's important to be able to offer them essentially a last mile solution, if you want to think of it that way, so that air traffic control, so they can know with confidence that there's a loading zone near to their ultimate destination, so they don't have to walk very far with their goods, for example. So there's a certain density of these zones, and then also that there's a certain availability confidence, so that when they arrive there, the spot will be there for them. And also then that the service is affordable. And fleets already pay today, they pay cities in the form of fees and or fines for the use of curb space effectively. For example, UPS pays, I think, approximately $25 million a year in the form of fines to the city of New York, give or take. So obviously a significant amount of money. And that's effectively for parking violations, double parking, et cetera. And that's essentially a symptom of not having a good curb service, right? And so we think for this kind of system to work, there have to be not just fines per se, and a sort of a regulatory approach, but actually also an incentive, a positive, a better service, a better curb service, I call it, for fleets, so that they can actually have a much more predictable and efficient operation.